So you've been thinking about moving to South Miami. In this video, I'm gonna share with you why the city of pleasant living, it may make the wrong place for you to live. For some people, it's gonna be too far south from Miami Beach, from Key Biscayne, from some of these other places. But for some people, it's close enough to everything else that they want, where you'd rather go to a fancy restaurant rather than doing the club scene. Over the last 4 years, we've spent over $150,000 on all the information about the neighborhoods in Miami. We're gonna answer all the questions, many questions you didn't even know you had, and you're gonna know by the end of this video if South Miami is right for you. We're gonna break it down into 5 different parts. The first part, the lifestyle of South Miami. The second part, the pros and cons. Number 3, the cost of living. Number 4, what's the future of South Miami? And number 5, Amit's ratings. My ratings on all things South Miami. So my perfect day in South Miami. My wife is off, I'm off. We're walking around South Miami. We're going to Dante Fascell Park. And instead of going for a long walk today, we're gonna have our clay court sneakers on and we're gonna play clay court tennis. The courts there, pretty nice, not the best, but they're good enough. And it's nice to play clay court tennis there. After that, we're gonna dust off our shoes. We're gonna walk a little bit further down and we're gonna go to Whisk. Whisk is a pretty cool restaurant for breakfast. It's pretty packed. It's like a mom and pop place and they have great dessert and great breakfast. I don't know about lunch or dinner, I've never had it there, but that's what we would do. We'd have breakfast there. After that, why not take a nap? You know, it's only 11 o'clock, why not sleep a few hours? So we'll do that. Then we're gonna wake up and then let's eat. So we go to Cafe Bonjour. Cafe Bonjour is in South Miami. One of my favorite things in the world to eat is their cream puffs. I remember going to a party once and my friend shared them with me. He had bought like 50 for the party. There were a lot of people there and I think I ate 14 of them. They sell out really quickly. So we'll go there, we'll have our lunch, they have great food, and we'll have quite a few different cream puffs. So then after that, what are we gonna do? We're probably gonna go to Sunset Place. We're gonna watch a movie and we're just gonna relax a bit, go to some of the stores. Sunset Place is gonna get renovated soon. So if you watch this video and things have changed, that's the reason why, if you watched it a little bit later. Then what are we gonna do? We're probably gonna eat again, why not? We're gonna go to Fiola. Fiola is a great Italian restaurant in South Miami, and their lasagna, their steak, they have so many wonderful things, and their dessert is great. After that, since we've eaten the whole day, we played a little tennis, we're probably gonna walk home to Pinecrest. It's not that far from South Miami, and that's gonna be our perfect day. So the pros and cons of living in South Miami. So this is the area we're gonna hear the dark secret of South Miami, so the cons. I'd like to call it C.B.S. So C.B.S, what does that stand for? It's not the TV station. So C is one crime. When I grew up, and you know, it's been a long time since I grew up, but for many, many years until recently, there were many areas of South Miami. There still are some areas of South Miami where there's a decent amount of crime. I'm not an expert on this, do your own research, but there are areas where crime is pretty high. So what's B? B is bugs. Bugs, wildlife, different things. If you're in the wrong area, if you're living by a canal and you go outside your house, you may be greeted by an alligator. Yep, an alligator, an iguana, a raccoon, maybe even a fox. So there are a lot of different things. If you're scared of those or you don't wanna meet an alligator, you may not wanna live in South Miami. And what's S? S are schools. Although South Miami has some amazing schools, one of the best schools, elementary schools in the country is Sunset Elementary. And in South Miami, a lot of the schools are very different than that. You have hit or miss schools. You have heroes and many of zeros. So you gotta make sure that you live in the right place in South Miami to make sure that your kids can go to the right school. So what are some of the other cons? real estate. The prices are very, very high in South Miami if you're looking for a single family home. If you're looking for a condo, you're gonna get these old, outdated condos that aren't that great. So single family homes, their lots are very, very small. So you're not gonna have much privacy from your neighbors. You're gonna pay all the money and get very little privacy. Another thing is that as prices are higher, your taxes are more, your home insurance is more. So those are very expensive things in South Miami. Another thing is the parking isn't always great in South Miami. There are quite a few different areas where you have meter parking. And although you can use your app and you can do these things and it's not that difficult, it definitely adds time to your schedule when you have to figure out where to park and if you can get parking, and it just makes it less convenient to live there. So the pros of living in South Miami, there are plenty. There's a lot of them. And for most people, the cons are gonna be very minuscule compared to the pros. So South Miami, it is really the city of pleasant living. You have these 48 acres of parks and greenlands where you can walk around, do that, just go on hiking tours without mountains. So I don't know if that's really hiking, but you can do all these things. There's so many dog parks, tennis courts, basketball courts, just so many things where you can have an active lifestyle. The walkability is nice for the most part. You're gonna really get to know your neighbors because a lot of these people have like interests and you're gonna see them over and over again. And if you wanna have an active lifestyle, South Miami is the perfect place to live in. One of the things that a lot of people like about South Miami is how close to the University of Miami it is. There are so many people that are fans, whether you like the football team, the baseball team, whatever it is, or if you have kids going there, or you went there yourself, it's really close to there. And you get that college school feeling, sort of like you live in that town, but you're far enough away from it where you don't have to deal with the daily traffic of living there. So how's the location of South Miami? It's decent. It's not perfect, but it's decent. For some people, it's gonna be too far south from Miami Beach, from Key Biscayne, from some of these other places. But for some people, it's close enough to everything else that they want, where you'd rather go to a fancy restaurant rather than be out till 4 in the morning drinking. So it's a different vibe. Are you enjoying this video about South Miami and want to learn more? If you are, make sure to click that link in the description. So the architecture in South Miami is somewhat diverse, but not that diverse. You're gonna find homes from like 50s, 60s, 70s, and then you're gonna find these new box mansions. So you're not gonna get that much stuff in between, and you're gonna get, quite a few different condos and townhomes and some very expensive homes. But if you're looking to find all the different styles of architecture, it's not the right place. With South Miami, are there gated communities? There's some, but not that many. The security in South Miami is okay. It's nothing exceptional. It's just, I would say, average. So if you really want privacy, South Miami is the wrong place for you. So the schools in South Miami, that's part of the dark secret. Sunset Elementary is one of the best in the nation, but there's so many bad schools. Bad, and I don't mean to say that in a bad way, but meaning where they don't score that high on the standardized tests in South Miami. So if you're thinking about moving to South Miami, you better make sure that you're moving in the right neighborhood if you want a particular school. Even though there's only very small amounts of schools that are exceptional in South Miami, the great thing is there's some exceptional private schools that are very close by. There's Gulliver, there's Ransom Everglades, and there's quite a few other private schools. So the area of South Miami is great, and if you're willing to spend $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a year for your kid to go to private school, the drive for you isn't gonna be very far. So how's the weather? What do you have to worry about if you live in South Miami? Not really much. Well, you probably need mosquito repellent in the summer from dusk and maybe at dawn, you're gonna need to have the mosquito repellent. Also, it's gonna rain in the summer quite a bit, like most of Miami. As far as flood zones, there are gonna be some. You're not that close to water, so you don't have to worry about that. As far as hurricanes, a lot of the homes in South Miami already have hurricane protection, meaning impact windows, impact doors, accordion shutters, or hurricane shutters. So you'll be okay with that. So there's not really that much you have to worry about. If you live in South Miami, you probably won't need to get evacuated if there's a hurricane. Maybe if the hurricane is really, really bad and there's a warning, you may, but for the most part, it's something you probably won't have to worry about. So we're gonna check out the cost of living of real estate in South Miami. So I'm gonna do a search real quick. And so right now, just to give you an idea, in this 2.5 mile area of South Miami, which is about 12,000 residents, give or take, there are currently 49 properties on the market. If I break it down, 32 of those properties are single family homes and the rest are condos and townhomes. So let's see what's available. The least expensive is a condo. I don't even know if I want to call it a condo. It's 451 square feet for $220,000. Let's check this one out. So this property is 7901 Southwest 64th Avenue. It's an okay area, unit 11. It's $220,000, so 450 square feet. So it's almost $500 per square feet, which is sort of a lot. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, built in 1962. And let's take a look at the HOA fee. It's pretty inexpensive for Miami, $360. But that's almost $1 square foot because it's 451 square feet. So let's take a look at the photos. Definitely looks like a property built in the 60s. Yeah, the floor, Mexican tile, not really great. Yeah, definitely like a studio type property with the AC wall unit. Property looks like, I'm sort of colorblind, people tell me, but it looks orange. Yeah, it has a pool for the area, but that pool looks like as big as one for a single family home. So let's see what else we got here. So that's the least expensive, and let's go for the most expensive, and then we'll do like an average. So the most expensive is 9.19 million. So this is a new construction property. It's just some renderings. So what do you get for 9.19 million? The address to this property is 7400 Ponce de Leon in South Miami. It's 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. It's 6,850 square foot living. You got to keep in mind, this is new construction. So a lot of times with new construction, the square footage is incorrect. It's a hope that the architect wants. And if you guys, I don't know if you see, but Ollie, our cat, is in the video. Hopefully he's in the video. So let's see what we have in here. What else do we have with this property? The lot size is 19,500, an acre's 43,560. So this is 0.448 acres in South Miami. I'm not that good at math, it just told me. So an acre is 43,560 square feet. This property has 19,500 square feet. So it's 0.448 of an acre. So almost 45% of an acre. And they have a structure, the picture of the back of the structure, the front. The marketing of this is terrible. I'm hoping Compass isn't doing it. Let's see, it has a swimming pool. Yep, Compass isn't the listing agent, so that's great. And there's no HOA, it's a single family home. Since it's $9 million, the taxes are probably gonna be $170,000 annually. So almost $15,000 a month. So what are the other costs of living in Miami for like an average home in South Miami? So let's take a look at that. So I'm gonna pull up property just in the middle. And so this property is 6867 Southwest 62nd Terrace. This property is for 2.15 million. This is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's 3,400 square feet under AC. And the lot size is 11,761. So basically it's 0.27 of an acre. Property is built in 1998, but it looks significantly older than that. It's very weird. Another orange colored home. I'm not sure why. Orange, yellow, and green. Like rainbow colors, I think. Looks like a castle. It just looks terrible. If this is your home, I apologize for you, but apparently you don't like it enough to not sell it. Yeah, this one is. So bottom line is, you're probably gonna need to spend about 2 million or more. If you wanna spend 2.15 million and get a home that's not beautiful to most, you can get this one. Or if you spend more, you can get something probably a bit nicer. So what's the future of South Miami? You're thinking about moving here. How's it gonna be in the future? I think it's gonna be a lot different. And it can't be that different because it's only 2.5 miles, but we're seeing more and more of these older homes being gentrified, unfortunately, where developers are buying them and they're basically building these box luxury homes. So it's okay, but all the homes are starting to look the same. If you go in South Miami and there's Southwest 80th Street, you're gonna see one after the other after the other. I had a client that was a Miami Heat player and he had one of those, and it just, in the beginning it was cool, but then everyone had one. So you're gonna see that. Another thing that you're gonna see, this would be my prediction, because the schools aren't that great there and because property values are getting so much more expensive, I think the schools are probably gonna get better. They have to, because people aren't gonna pay $4, $5, $6, $7 million and have a subpar education system in there. There are going to be probably a lot more donations to schools where they can afford to do other things. So I think the future is bright for South Miami, but there are going to be some changes that may take away from some of its charm. So your favorite part, Amit's ratings. Well, maybe it's my favorite part. So the first one, daily life and vibe. Probably say about a 3. It's not too strong. If you're looking to have this pretty cool vibe every day and daily life, go out and do a bunch of things, South Miami isn't the right place for you. It's nice for walking and stuff, and your neighbors are probably gonna know you because you live so close to them. But for the most part, it's not something that you're gonna brag about. Location and prestige. Probably about a 6 if someone really knows South Miami. If they don't know South Miami, they're gonna just think it's Miami or Kendall. Everyone thinks Kendall is South Miami and it's not. There's a much different feel in Kendall compared to South Miami. So the prestige location, it's okay. The location is pretty good because it's actually close to Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, Kendall, and a bunch of other areas, but it's not great. Waterfront living and views, probably a 4. There's no real waterfront living in South Miami. The views are nice because there's a lot of greenery and parks and just a bunch of other stuff, but it's not exceptional. Amenities and lifestyle, probably an 8. The reason I say 8 is there's so many parks and tennis courts and dog parks, so many different things, lots of gyms, lots of shopping in Sunset Place. There are quite a few things there, so that's pretty good. Privacy and security, give that a 5. Depending on where you live in South Miami, it could be very safe or not safe at all. So it's half and half. Architectural features, probably a 5 again. You see new modern box homes or you see old homes. Every once in a while you see something in between, but in an area that's only 2.5 miles, there's not much to choose from. Community engagement and local interaction, probably a 9. If someone lives in South Miami, they're pretty connected with everyone. They're very into all the activities and stuff, and they're not gonna be like wanting to know all your business, but they're gonna be very connected. So that's a very high number for that. Cost of living in real estate, 3. The cost of living in South Miami is very high, especially for what you get. You get these small lots for single family homes. You're gonna need to spend in the multi-millions for that, and it's not that great. Green space and outdoor living. This is a 10 out of 10. There are 48 acres of green space in South Miami in such a small area. So many parks, dog parks, tennis courts, basketball courts, so many different things. Definitely a 10 out of a 10. Climate resilience, probably a 7. Because the homes are expensive, there's so much impact windows and all that hurricane stuff. As far as like flood concerns and stuff, you're gonna have some flood zones, but there are gonna be many areas that aren't. And even those flood zone areas, usually they're not affected that much. South Miami takes so much pride in their sustainability with their solar panels, with so much green living. So they do an exceptional job at that. So that gives us 60 points for South Miami for Amit's rating. Slightly less than Fisher Island at 64 and significantly less than Pinecrest at 82. I've lived close to South Miami for nearly 40 years and I go there all the time. So after watching this video and getting to know South Miami's dark secret, is South Miami right for you? If you're still not sure, make sure to click the link. We have hundreds of hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent into creating this for you. If you'd like to watch more of these videos, make sure to do 3 things. Yep, 3 things. First, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, as they say. Comment if you're feeling like you have the right thing to say. Even if you don't, no one really reads these comments except me. So comment or like it. Why not do all 3 and make my day?